The Crumbl cookie craze is not just another viral food trend. We have seen food trends before, but we've never seen one this big or this calculated. Crumbl cookies have a huge hold on people's emotions, unlike any food products ever have, and we really don't know where it's going to go from here. So in this video, we are going to be finding out just how the cookie crumbles. God damn it. Okay, so this video was actually pitched by our editor, Matthew, and when I heard about it, I didn't really think that it was worthy of a video, honestly, because I'm a boomer who doesn't know about pop culture anymore. How was I supposed to know that, cookies were going to be the latest insanely viral thing? So if you are behind the times and confused about what we're talking about, just like I was 2 weeks ago, let's get you up to speed on the insanity of Crumbl. So according to Wikipedia, Crumbl Cookies was started in 2017 by a couple of Mormons who look like they steal cookies from Girl Guides.
Like, what do you say fuck me for?
And no, they're not a couple in that sense. They're just a couple of Mormon dudes. So we're clear. And the whole premise of this company is that they release weekly signature cookies at their stores. And I'm not talking about like one weekly signature cookie. I'm talking 6 new signature cookies every single week that you can buy from any one of their hundreds of stores across the country. And when we were writing this script, the lineup that was out at the time was actually kind of incredible. They had oatmeal skillet, pink velvet, mint mallow sandwich, lemon cheesecake, churro, peanut butter, and confetti. I mean, that's just an impressive lineup of cookies to have at any store, let alone 980 stores across the country. That's 312 completely original cookies for the entire year. We put out a video every single week on this channel, and sometimes we struggle to do that. And now if you're thinking, yeah, this sounds like a completely unsustainable business model from a purely logistical standpoint, I would probably agree with you. But if you look at the numbers, it seems to be working. They are the fastest growing chain of dessert shops in the United States, and the 4th fastest growing food chain of any sort in the country. And apparently they sell on average nearly 1 million cookies a day. And at $5 a pop, these are some pretty good numbers. But of course, we are not making this video because, hey, this really cool company just figured out how to make like an endless cookie hack with millions of flavors that people really seem to enjoy. No, this is a weird cookie phenomenon, actually, and it tells us some very interesting things about where our consumer world is at right now. So I decided that the best place to start would be to try them for myself. I can't exactly remember what I ordered, but this is a monstrous display of cookies. Look at this. The Crumbl cookie experience going into that store was actually more impressive than I thought it was going to be. As soon as I walked in, I was greeted by everyone in the back, which was kind of creepy, but impressive. It was poppin'. There was a lineup of people waiting as soon as I walked in, and there was orders coming out all the time. Staff in the back going crazy, making all kinds of cookies and stuff. And my cookies were delivered really quickly and with a really genuine smile. So like staff-wise and the way that they're trained is clearly making an experience that people appreciate. You order via iPad, which is like not new anymore, but still kind of novel, I guess, for some people. I gotta say, these cookies look exactly like the ones that I ordered off of that screen. Here we go. I bit off a significant chunk of that, and I've still so much cookie to go. It's good. It's good. I don't know what else to tell you. Here goes the cookie dough. That one was chilled, which was really nice. Had like a cream cheese topping on it or something. Yeah, this is like their specialty one. This is the French toast. How do I get? That one's not as good. Here's a churro. Tastes like a churro. I'm not really sure how I'm expected to eat this. This is like, look at that. That is like, this is not something you can eat in your car. What the hell? Okay, I'm gonna try though. I don't know, guys. I don't really like that at all. Just soggy and like just wet. Ugh. Now, I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bites out of 6 cookies, and I am completely overwhelmed with how sweet that is.
I need some water. It's kind of gross, honestly. The amount of sugar that is in those cookies, I know is way too high. And putting it in my mouth, I'm like, wow, that is far too much for me. That's what she said. But that's the thing, is that this is not about the cookies, right? This is about a different thing. This is about an experience of going to the shop. It's about getting something novel that you saw on the internet. It's about being overwhelmed by sugar. Because those cookies, I mean, I wouldn't say that they're the most like artfully made, but they satisfy the need for something that is just like, whoa, like exciting. This is exciting. They have made this exciting. They satisfy that need for something exciting. And if maybe your life is boring and you are just looking for something to spice it up or sweeten things up, that'll do the trick. Now, if you want to see our editor eat a completely different lineup of cookies from Crumbl, we had him eat them over the course of an entire podcast that we released on Patreon.
Can you taste the holiday?
I can taste a holiday. I'm not sure what it is.
That is where you get exclusive content from us, talking about the kinds of subject matter that we discuss on this channel, but maybe things that didn't make it onto the main channel that we still want to talk about. It's a great way to support our channel and also get some exclusive goodies, so head on over there if you are interested. That was gross. There's just shit all over the place now.
Like a lot of the earth-shattering companies that are, taking over our social spheres right now, the Crumbl Cookie empire is actually more of a social media company than it is a bakery. They have 9.6 million followers on TikTok, 1.3 on Twitter, 6 on Instagram, and 2.6 here on YouTube. But Crumbl's numbers make us question our lives a little bit, because there's not really any good reason for a cookie company to have more of an audience than the leader of our country. Unless, perhaps, that cookie company is actually a propaganda machine using cookies as a sweet treat distraction from the very real problems plaguing our hyper-consumer world. No, that's probably not it. The hype that this company has created is certainly not a mistake, but I think that it was probably a surprise for the creators of the business. These cookies have become a social glue for literally millions of people, and I don't think anyone saw it coming. And it's frankly gotten a little out of control, with people taking their cookie drops a bit more seriously than I think any person who is above the age of a toddler ever should. This is a literal quote. I'm gonna read it out from the page because it's honestly worth it. Has Crumbl lost their f***ing minds? An entire week of only pies. This is stupid. Oh my f***ing days. These are cookies, people. Or apparently pies in this case. Now we're going to come back to that in a little bit because there is a little bit more going on here than just a simple overreaction. But you might have noticed that that was a post from the Crumbl Cookies subreddit, which was a genuinely mind-boggling scroll for me. First off, the volume of posts on there is wild for a subreddit with not quite 80,000 members, and the level of passion for these cookies is surprising, honestly. Now, of course, I want a disclaimer here that Reddit is sort of an outlier, of course, in the internet, especially for fan pages, as it can become a place just to go and bitch about stuff. But listen, this is actually kind of what Reddit is great for in a lot of ways, because the platform has a certain kind of power that other platforms don't. People on Reddit have an influence, and people take notice. Apparently, the CEO of Crumbl Cookies has been on this subreddit a few times, and I would be lying if we didn't have meetings on this channel about the stuff that's posted on ours. Now, the back and forth going between the fans of these cookies and the company that makes them is actually kind of the most innovative thing that Crumbl has managed to do. That weekly cadence is a huge part of an ongoing conversation. Just like a YouTuber who posts on a weekly basis, it's a dialogue between them and their fans, and in many cases, their critics on Reddit. And we did some research, and I honestly don't think that there is another company that is doing this yet. But I would predict that this is probably going to become more of the norm moving into the future. This is basically like the fast fashion of food. Instead of haul videos, we have cookie drop videos, and the company and the influencers who promote them have this odd symbiotic relationship. See, as we kind of hinted at the beginning, these cookies are built partially for you to eat, of course, but just as importantly, and probably even more so, is how they look on camera. If you're an influencer looking for something to make content about, you know that there is going to be a new lineup of cookies being released every single week. that you will probably get more views on than your typical content. And the more that you think about it, the more it makes sense, right? We have a wildly photographable and shareable product with a limited release schedule at an attainable price point. I mean, this is the perfect recipe for a great cookie company. It also makes sense that this company would release a specialized Crumbl cookie cutter because, I mean, nobody has knives, right? You can just cut the thing in half. But I will say, like, jokes aside, these are expensive cookies. You're probably going to be sharing them. You want everybody to have the same amount of cookie, right? Apparently they discontinued it. We could only get a 404 message when we actually tried to look it up. But I think they should bring them back. Now I want a cookie divider, because if you've ever had siblings, I think we all can understand the importance of getting the quadrants of cookie perfectly divided. Yeah, I don't know about siblings, but I know that you and I are very careful about how we split things. I think it's because you had siblings. And this is where it's actually so much smarter than just standard fast fashion. Because unlike the $7 shirt that you get from Shein, which only suits certain people or fits certain people, these cookies can be enjoyed and experienced by anyone. On top of this, they're cheaper, and being a food product means that they can be built into people's routines. People are putting their Crumbl pickups into their Google Cals and consuming the content that leads up to these releases and during them to get themselves excited for their next visit. And this anticipation and this habit-forming relationship between cookie and consumer has put the company into some truly uncharted territory. If you look at the videos on YouTube or in the news critiquing Crumbl as a business, they'll talk about the lawsuits that they've launched, the child labor issues that they've had in a couple of states, and of course, the horrendous nutritional information about these cookies. And yeah, the truth is they are trying to trademark this particular kind of cookie release schedule, and there were some 14 and 15-year-olds that were making cookies. And yeah, their cookies are spectacularly bad for you, but nobody cares. You know what people really care about? Like what they really care about? Is when their cookies don't look like the pictures from the advertisements that they saw on Instagram. And there's a couple of things coming together here, right? Like on one hand, we have a fan base that is just ultimately trying to enjoy their cookies. And they don't really care about the company's story, and all they want is to be able to enjoy the thing that makes their day, right? This is a pattern that we talked about in our latest Starbucks episode if you want to get more into that. But then there's also the reality that people don't understand numbers. Like the fact that these cookies contain more than your daily intake of sugar, and a big chunk of the calories should be shocking. Like it should be just like an immediate red flag, hell no for most people. But it's not, because we're just monkeys, and these are just numbers. And when you eat the cookie and it tastes good, you're not trying to figure out the math of what you just consumed. But we are going to talk about it because the numbers on these cookies is truly staggering. Their nutritional information lists these calories for a serving size that is not actually a full cookie. This is for basically a quarter of a cookie. But who the hell is going to be looking at the nutritional information on a cookie that closely? Probably no one. We saw similar things when McDonald's started posting their calories beside all their meals in their restaurants, and it did literally nothing to stop people from buying the highly processed foods that they are selling. And Crumbl knows this. See, Crumbl is just the most recent example of how companies use the internet to manufacture a connection from nothing, which explains the deep anger when the cookies fall short of people's expectations. These cookies represent a lot more to the people who are buying them than just a sweet treat. And the way that they do this is on one hand just simply brilliant, but also disturbing. Crumbl's weekly drops, their luxurious aesthetic and the price tag makes them an event for people who are historically lonely and dislocated from their communities. Because let me ask you this, who was the person historically that we would be getting our special cookies from? Your grandma, your neighbor, or your aunt and uncle's house or whatever, I don't know, a real person. And this is where the whole sweet treat trend comes from online. It's an increasingly stressful and lonely world that we're living in, and we long for something that feels special and nurturing the way those little things used to be. But we don't have the same kind of community that we used to. And so we have to get it from fancy cookie shops like Crumbl. And when we were digging into the website for Crumbl, we found something really interesting. A lot of the Crumbl cookie locations are in the suburbs. And I'm not saying that they don't have any locations in cities, but let's take where we live, for example. The closest Crumbl location to Vancouver is in Port Coquitlam, a suburb over an hour away from the downtown core of the biggest city in our province.
So this is the scene. This is where our Crumbl cookie location is. Basically, it just seems like a standard strip mall. There's like a Costco across the street, another grocery store. We're right off the highway pretty well.
I think that Crumbl is avoiding those sort of cool, hip, dense urban centers because they don't serve the same need there. See, in most cool city neighborhoods, there's a dozen local shops that carry a true connection to their community and the people who live there. And they also probably sell really cool cinnamon buns or desserts or pastries or something. But in the suburbs, there's not really much of that. And so they become the only specialty shop, most likely located in a strip mall of some sort amongst, other big chain restaurants. And so people are willing to drive out of their way to go and get them. And so it's not a coincidence that a lot of the videos that you see of people reviewing these cookies are filmed in their cars. Now, of course, this is just speculation, right? And of course, there are locations in some very cool neighborhoods in the US, but this is a company that is founded by Utah Mormons, which is a whole other layer to this that we don't have time to get into. They are very smart business people, though. Let us know if you want us to make a video about that. How would we even package that? How everything is made by Mormons now? Can we even do that? That feels controversial. And look, I know that sometimes these stories make it feel like we're being taken over by these massive corporate overlords. And yes, in some case that is happening. But the existence of a crazy cookie overlord implies the existence of a cozy cookie neighborhood cafe. Your city or town probably has a local baker that is probably looking for your business. And these small local businesses are way more likely to do a custom order or adapt their recipes to your dietary preferences, which is something that Crumbl just has not figured out yet. So if you have somebody in your family, whether that's a family member or a friend or a local shop, that gives you the sweet treat that you need on a weekly basis, make sure that you are supporting them. And if you want to share them with people, you can leave recommendations down in the comments below or on our subreddit. Please go easy on us over there. But regardless of how you participate with our community, we so appreciate you being here. And we'll see you every week for another upload.